There will be moments will be your soul is talking to you all the time. But sometimes you can feel and you can sense and you can understand that there's something on the way, something coming, something coming. And that triggers our conditioned mind, our thinking mind, to go on some sort of overdrive, overthinking. If you are on this journey where becoming more aware, increasing in consciousness through your inner healing, inner evolution, and you are increasing this communication with your soul, you're increasing this communication and the trust with the universe, and using your intuition as a tool, you will sense when your soul is trying to bring you something, communicate you something. And we could be in that space, so it could be a collective of us that could be in that space where when you are sensing this, your conditioned mind goes into overdrive, overthinking, overanalyzing, overworking, and it takes you away a little bit from your present moment because you're trying to figure it out. What is it? And that's the beauty of the unknown. And that's perhaps a system that your body goes to and your soul is trying to show you, yes, it's coming. You have trust. You have the ability to use your intuition. And it's time to break that pattern that the brain goes into, that trigger that the brain goes into trying to figure it out what it is. And in that space, go back to your present moment. Go back when the mind starts to go back to your present moment. A few times today, I felt like I needed to say, you know what, I am driving now. I am focusing on driving. My brain is on driving. It's not trying to figure out what my soul is trying to show me or tell me. Because it's all going to come through your present moment, the synchronicities in your present moment, the situations that you're in. And, for some people might come through a heart chakra connection with yourself, where you will receive some clarity. But the awarenesses are going to be there, and they do come in, those aha moments, they do come in your present moment. But the minute that we allow our brain to go into that pathway, into that pattern, into that cycle of overthinking to try to understand and figure out what's coming, we miss it. If you think about it, when you're going to clean your house, right? And there's so many things to tidy up, to clean, different rooms, different environments. There is mopping, there is wiping, there is brushing, vacuuming, there's all different things. And then you find yourself starting one thing and then you look up, something is out of place, you fix that, and then you turn around, you look up, something else is different, you go and fix that, and you forgot that you started on the mopping, and then you go back to the mopping, you finish the mopping. And this is the type of pattern that I'm talking about, that our brain can go into when we are sensing messages coming through, downloads coming through, and we're trying so hard to understand. And the whole process of trusting is trusting the inner intuition, your inner guidance to be in the right place at the right time, but trusting through the unknown, because the heart speaks the language of reciprocity, duality, unification. It's all in one. The unknown is the same. The unknown is all in one. It could be anything. So when we go into this mind pattern, like the explanation I said about when you're going to clean the house and you find yourself diverting to different things, and you realize that, there's no strategy. Yes, you are following the flow of the mess that is in the house, because you're seeing one thing and going for another, and eventually you're going to get to the end and you're going to clean the house. Okay. And I'm not here asking for anyone to say, right, you got to strategize, you got to create structure, you got to create routine, you got to create step by step. It's not that, but it's to discern and to determine when you realize that your brain is going into that conditioning, into that pattern, into that cycle, and then bring yourself back to present. And every time I was able to bring myself back to present, there was the situation in my present moment show me a clarification, and something that I needed to see and understand, but wasn't seeking because I was present. And perhaps this is a message for those that are sensing, especially we are coming up to the eclipse a few days ahead. Full moon as well brings a lot of energy, a lot of uncertainty, unknown, back and forth energy, up and down energy, sideways energies, right? And we just navigate through it. So are we navigating with our intuition and heart guidance, or are we navigating with a pattern that is already being programmed in our brains? And are we stepping into that program and using that to navigate? And I must confess that I have spent a lot of time navigating through these programming of my mind, and I found my way, I found the answers, but it was tiring. It was not just tiring, but it felt like I was going around in circles, not in a spiral of evolution. I was going around in circles, and it perhaps took longer to figure it out, to find out, to hear, to feel what the soul is trying to bring. And I am learning to use to this discernment, is where's my brain going, yeah, and come back to the center, come back to the heart, come back to the intuition. And I want to be able to navigate more fully through the intuition, through these flowy moments of sensations, of senses, rather than the conditioned mind that is always trying to figure out things through these patterns. So it's really understanding, I did go through this process, and I did understand what my mind likes to do, which then helps me recognize when I'm going there and come back. So perhaps there's a purpose even for me to be going into those way of figuring out what my soul wants from me, right? But there are different ways, and perhaps you are already stepping into more fully into these flowy and following your guidance and your intuition, and are able to hold that present moment more consistently, and already recognizing the patterns that your brain, your thought processes go into to try to figure it out. It's like we're trying to get ahead of ourselves, ahead of our souls, and we can't, right? The souls, our soul knows the whole plan, and that even that plan is changeable all the time. Every decision that we make, every action that we take will change this planet. Only the soul knows. So it's about being present to be able to see the signs and the sensations, the senses in your intuition, to then follow that through. And I hope this has helped you with some insights. And yeah, that the next time you realize, I'm feeling urged to understand something, to know something, and which path are we taking? Both paths are right. There's nothing wrong with either of them, but one is more earthly, 3D, perhaps time consuming, more tiring. The other one is more flowy, through the energy, through the sensations, through the intuition. And if you are working to build those clairvoyant abilities of yourself, perhaps it is important to sit and discern which way are we going, yeah, and pick and choose. It's a choice. At the end of the day, it's only a choice. And before I didn't have a choice, I was going straight into the mental pattern, right? And now today I'm more aware of it and really sitting back and going, right, I'm going a mental pattern, I'm going in, and then I stop and I go present, and I go back to sensing. And what happened today was quite interesting. I completely forgot the thoughts I was having. It just completely disappeared from my mind, and I was driving thinking, what was I thinking before? I was going on around the rabbit hole, And I used to call it the rabbit hole, the magic rabbit hole. I used to even call it magic rabbit hole because at some point I got to an answer, but it was tiring. And today, when I recenter, when I came back to the present, I actually got the clarity and I forgot exactly the rabbit hole I was in. And I think that's what this message is about, is just really, if you are in that space where you are remembering to recenter, and if you are picking up the patterns of the mental path, you know, perhaps you can make that choice now to take the intuition path, right? They've both always been there in your life. Whether you're aware of the intuition path or the mental path, they've always been there, and they've always been working together, separate, intermittent, and but now is the consciousness and the discernment that's giving you that free will, that choice. The free will has always been there, we just didn't see it, but now you can. Yeah, now you're able to see this. Yeah, thank you so much, and hopefully to see you in one of my free calls, a monthly call that we do on Zoom. If you are interested in participating in the healing sessions, just send a message and I'll send you the link. Thank you.